Hi everybody, it's Amy, and I have a process video that I was going to do today for making these unicorn donuts. Aren't they cute? I made them with a new stamp and die set by the ton. Actually, it's stamps and die sets by the ton, and I thought they came out so cute. I just love this set. So yeah, let me show you what I used, the ton stamp set. And die sets. I should actually call it a stamp and die bundle. So here's one of the stamp sets, and what you get is you know, a stamp to stamp the donut. You get 2 eye options for your unicorn. They have these ears and the unicorn horn and a bunch of sentiments, but that's not all. Then they have 2 more stamp sets. This one is a turnabout stamp that you can use to do frosting and sprinkles, like regular sprinkles and heart-shaped sprinkles on your donut. I didn't use those. And then they have even more sentiments on here. And then the third stamp set, you can do frosting that has a heart shape in the middle to stamp on your donut. And they have these beautiful flowers that you can do. I used some Recollections flowers on mine, but you can also stamp flowers. And then more sentiments. And the flowers is like a layering stamp too. And then there's leaves. So it's just an amazing stamp set. And then in terms of the dies, there's this die that will cut out the flower layers that you stamp, and then there's these dies that cut out the ears and the horn. And there's also another die which I didn't get, which is the donut card base, and it was out of stock when I went to order. It came back in stock, but I still haven't received it, and I think it's out of stock again. So I had to improvise, and I just improvised using Spellbinder Circles dies, and you know, dies that I have around. And that's what I was going to show you how I made mine, in case you don't want to purchase the card base set, or you know, it's not available and you want to use your set. So for my donut base, I used this circle die from my Grand Caliber's Nestabilities from Spellbinders. This circle is the smallest circle in the set, and it's about just shy of 4 1/4 inches when cut. And then for the donut center, for this one, I used another Spellbinders Nested Circle set. I used the smallest circle. And then for this donut, I used a heart-shaped die, but you can use any heart or circles dies you have for this. And you can certainly use cutting machines like the Silhouette or the Cricut. So I used this die to cut my donut center on this unicorn. And then let me show you what else I used. I used some beautiful flowers from Michael's Recollections, and I just love how they have the beaded centers. I just thought they were so pretty. And I used this set. This is the blue set. Again, they have the pretty beaded centers. And then I also have these lavender flowers, and I'm going to make the lavender the unicorn with the lavender flower as part of my process video. And I just thought they were so pretty. So yeah, so if you want to see how I did my unicorns, you know, you can just stay tuned. I will put these aside. You will need to first cut your circle, and I'm going to use my Gemini to do that. I have it off camera here. And here is my sandwich. And I'm just going to put my donut base on here, and I am going to grab that heart die. I want to do this one with the heart again. I'm just going to try to position it kind of in the middle of my die, and I think that looks good, right? It's about right. And then I'm going to use some cardstock. You can use whatever cardstock you have. I'm going to use this one. This is Rustic White by Paper Tray Ink. And I think they call it Rustic White because it's a little off-white, and it's got some flecking in it that I really like. I like that effect. Yeah, so let me kind of finish this up here. And I'm just going to run this through my Gemini. And there's what my sandwich looks like. So here we go. Okay, so let's see how this came out. Yeah. So there we go. That looks great. Actually, I like it. So there's my donut base, and let me put my little heart-shaped die back in my little base set before I lose it. And yeah, and let's see. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a stamp positioning tool. Again, you can use whatever one you have. I have the Misty, and I'm going to stamp that, just clear some stuff out of the way. I'm going to get that donut base stamped. So I just put my little bar in the center here to hold it down. Hold that donut down, and yeah, you just want to put stuff in the center because the donut is going to stamp around it. So let me grab my donut, stamp, and here we go. It's this one here. They get so dirty when you get good use out of them. And pull that out. Sorry for the crinkling. There we go. And then what I do is, let's see. This goes this way. Oh, it looks like it's got a little fuzz on it. I want to clean that up. Okay, so it might be hard to see, but I like to make sure that I'm completely covering my donut edges. And so I just spend a few kind of seconds messing around with that. I just don't want it to not get coverage. And I think, there we go. I think that'll do it. Okay. Let's see. Oops. These magnets are so strong. Okay. And then for my ink for my donut base, I use the Hero Art Shadow Ink in the soft brown. So let me ink up my stamp. And this is a great ink. It's gonna look blotchy, but then it dries so nice and smooth. It's amazing. So I ink that up good, and I'll probably stamp it again. I usually stamp it 2 or 3 times to get it the way I want it. You know, get nice even coverage. I can't wait to get the die so that I can, you know, use the actual die that it's intended to go with. But, you know, this works well. Like I said, it's a little blotchy, and I need to stamp it a couple of times to fill in all the spaces. But that's what's great about a stamp positioning tool, because, you know, you can do that. You can just keep restamping until you get it the amount of coverage you want it to be. So, yeah, so this usually, like I said, it's a little bit, it takes like 2 or 3. Let's see. It's almost there. Let's see, one more. I think one more is going to do it, hopefully. That spot was really white, and then let's see. Did that do it? Yeah, there's one little spot there that could be better. Oh, and you know what? That's a little white for me. Let me do that. I'm going to do another one. And if you hear wind and stuff in the background, I'm in New Jersey. It is like unreal windy here today. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, you know, I still don't like that. Let me get that. There we go. Okay, so that looks good, and like I said, that will even out as it dries. So let me take this stamp away. I'll put it to the side. And then I need to stamp the eyelashes. And I will do those, clean up my thing here, my little stamp. Clean that up. Okay, and then I need to stamp my eyes. And I'm going to use the eyelashes. And now, let's see. What I like to do is kind of line them up nicely over the nose, and I think that's, oops, sorry, I'm off camera. I think that looks good. Nice and even. Okay. Let me get those. And I'm going to stamp those in my Memento Black ink. Memento Tuxedo Black. There we go. And they turn out pretty good, but I'm going to stamp them one more time. Get them nice and black. And there we go. And they look really, really good. I'm really happy with that. So let me get this off. And let me take my donut off, and then you can get a closer look. So yeah, I think that that came out so that this die set is so cute. And yeah, so I'll just clean this up a little bit. And let's see, what do we want to do next? For the cheeks, I do a I just use my blush. So so let me do that. It's just some Tickled Pink blush. And I just kind of put it on. You could use your Copic marker, you could use you know, all kinds of whatever you have to make the cheeks pink. I just happen to use this. I think this comes out really pretty. There we go. There's the cheeks. Oops, this looks like it could be a little bit more. There we go. I like that. Okay. So now that that's done, I am going to I guess I need to emboss my horns and ears, my horn and ears. So let me do that. Yeah, let me grab those. So I'll need my dies for the horns and the ears. And I will need some cardstock. And I'm also going to need to use this stamp set again because I'm going to emboss. I'm going to cut and emboss the horn and the ears. So yeah, so what I do is, let me grab my stamp positioning tool again. So what I do is, when I do the horns, let's see. Well, I mean, when I do the ears, I find the stamp a little funky, like not perfectly lined up with the die. And so then if you stamp and you cut with the die, it can be like, oh, it seems a little off. So what I do is I have the ears, I cut them out, and then I'm going to lay them back in here on my Misty. So let me cut those dies out with my Gemini. I mean, those ears out with my Gemini. Just going to put them on here like this and run it through the Gemini. Give me 1 second. And yeah, so here are my ears, and this is what I mean by that. I'm just going to pop them back in here. And then, you know what, it's probably easier to do it this way, but it probably won't show as good. But what you want to do is you want to take your ear stamp from the set and place it on here and make sure that you kind of have your ears in there. Oh, but one thing before I do that, I need to use my powder tool to powder up those ears so that when I'm going to emboss them, there's less stickiness if I powder first. So let's get them nice and powdered. Okay. And there we go. Now, I'm going to take this off camera for a second to make sure it's lined up. But basically, I want to make sure the tip's not over the tip of the die cut. The edges are in the die cut. And then I'm going to get a nice stamped image with my embossing. Okay, so there we go. I got it all lined up. And I'm going to use my Versamark to ink up the ears, or Versamark up the ears. I think I need a new Versamark pad, or at least it's starting to get dry, or at least a re-inker for the Versamark. So there we go, and then I'm gonna stamp it again. Oh, and see, that's what happens. The ears kind of pop out. And for this particular die set, it's not a problem. Because, I mean, for this particular stamp, it's not a big deal because you can just pop them back into where they're supposed to be. If you're careful with it, you'll be fine. Okay. And I'm going to do it again. And stamp with the Versamark again. Alright, and then there we go. And I'm going to take those ears off. And I will, let's see, they stand pretty good. Yeah, I think they stand pretty good. So let's see how they do with the embossing now. So here's my coffee filter, and then I'm going to use this gold embossing powder that I have. I don't remember what brand it is, but it's fine. You know, it's for the fine detail, and I like fine detail pretty much across the board. The fine detail embossing powder, even if it's not fine, I prefer it. So here we go, and I'll just cover those up good. And there, let's see how they turned out. I think they turned out pretty good. I'm going to take, I see, even though I use my powder tool generously, I see there's a little bit extra there at the tip of the ear, so I'm going to take that off. And a little bit extra there. But overall, it looks good. And forgive me if my embossing tool is loud. I am my embossing tool must be 20 years old, which is pretty old, but it still works, and it works really good, and forgive me if it's very loud on camera. So I haven't gotten a new one. I love this. There we go, and it came out so pretty. And here I'll do the other one. Oops. And there we go. And that's my unicorn's ears. And now I will do the horn. So the unicorn horn, you don't necessarily need to do, let me show you. With the horn, you don't need to necessarily do this thing that I did with the cutting the die and having a positioner for the stamp positioner, because the horn basically is a really good size and shape to cut out the stamped image simply by laying the horn over the stamped image. So let me find my piece of paper to stamp my horn, and I'll do that next. And let me remove my ears. They're still on my yikes. They're still on my stamp positioner. Okay. Let's see, where's my horn stamp? Here it is. Let me get that out. And let's put that down there. And I want to make sure that this doesn't move, so I'm going to try to put a few things there. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to also use Versamark on this, whoops, on my horn. Tink up my horn. And let's stamp that. And I'm gonna stamp it again, just like, or ink it up, yeah, ink it up again. I just feel like my embossing pad here is starting to dry up. So there we go. And there is my embossed horn. Pretty cool. And let me get the positioner out of the way. And I will use the same gold embossing powder that I used for my ears for the horn. Oops, I forgot to run over it with my powder tool, but it's okay because it turned out okay. The horn's a pretty relatively solid image, so let's see. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. And up here it could use a little detail work, so let me clean that up. Okay. So let's see. I will get out my noisy heat gun again. Warm that up a second. That's it. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Yikes. And then I am going to give that a second to dry. While it does that, I am going to return my embossing powder to my little container here for my gold embossing powder. And clear this out of the way while that dries. Okay. And let's see, while that dries, the other thing I can do is I can I can glue down the ears. So let me do that. Oh, that's not the right bottle of glue. Here, let me get it. Here we go. So I do the ears behind because I want to make sure that the donut head covers like these kind of little ridges and stuff. So I glue my ears on from behind. Let's see. And I'm using multimedia matte for my adhesive. And there we go. Let me kind of line up the ears. Nicely. Okay. There we go. And then I'll put this little weight on there to hold it down, and then hopefully this is dry now. Yeah, this is dry, so I can cut this out with my I'll cut this out with my die and my Gemini. So let me get that. Let's see. And line this up. I think I'm gonna need a little washi tape to hold this down because the there we go. The embossing and the heat popped up the paper, so it's not laying flat anymore. So I want to make sure that I get a nice clean cut. Hi everybody, sorry about that. I ran out of charge on my video camera, so I was gonna finish up the donut here on my unicorn donut. I die cut the horn using the die from the set, and let's see, and I'm just gonna glue this time. I'm gonna glue it on the front with a little of the multi-matte medium again. Let's see. I'm off camera there, sorry about that. Put a little bit more. Okay. So there's my horn. And now I'm going to pick out my flowers. Like I said, I had purchased these purple flowers from Michael's, the Recollections line, and I'm going to use these ones from the set. I think they're so pretty, so let me get my hot glue gun. And then I have some beautiful white roses from I Am Roses. You can use, you know, whatever you have in your stash. This is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use today. You should have fun decorating your unicorn. Oh my gosh, that's the fun part about my unicorn project. They're so pretty, so you can use some of your like nicest things to decorate them. And I want to be a little bit careful here because I have, you know, my little map poster board here. So let's see, and then let me get some more hot glue for this one. Yeah, I don't want to glue my project down to my poster board, so let me, by accident, so let me use my glass mat here. That'll be a little bit safer. Okay, and we'll glue this one over here like so. Make sure I cover up the horn, and then I'll glue this one over here like so. And that. I'm just using some hot glue. Let's see, there we go. Oops, see, it did exactly what I was concerned about it doing, glued to the mat, but that's okay because it's the Tim Holtz non-stick mat. And then I'm going to glue, I guess, a couple of these guys down here and here. Really pretty. I just love this Stampin' Die set. It's so clever. It's so adorable. It's expensive because of the bundle. There's so many components, but it is an amazing, amazing set. Very well thought out. Oops, popped my flower up by accident trying to make an adjustment. Let me get that back on there. There we go. Okay, that looks really pretty. And let's see, I think I might just like put a couple more in there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty. Let me put those in there. Decking out this unicorn. Glue. And let's get this one in there. Very, very pretty. And then the other thing that I like to do is I like to give the unicorn a little beauty mark. And for that I use a Swarovski crystal. So let me grab one out of here. These are just like, I think these are the crystal colored ones. If I can get one, they're so hard. Okay, so there's my crystal. And I am going to put it over here. And let me put my multi-matte medium. Let's see, where am I going to put this? I think it'll look good right about here. And, oops. And my crystal upside down. Forgive me a second. Okay. Here we go. Oh, this crystal's going to be giving me a hard time today. And there we go. And there she is. Isn't that so cute? And then here are the other two. Here's the one with the blue. Oh wait, there's one more thing that I like to do. I have my Wink Stella pen, and I like to color up the flowers, the white flowers, to make them a little bit more glittery. Let me get this going. So I'm going to color up those flowers with the glitter. Or glitter up those flowers. Nice, just for a little extra sparkle. Let me get this one over here. There we go. Okay, and yeah, and here are my other unicorns again. That's the one with the circle for the center. And then this other one, you know, I am working on these unicorn donuts because I want to do a loaded envelope. So, yeah, I was so inspired by Jo, who's Paper Drama here on YouTube. She did this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous loaded envelope that was unicorn themed. So I'm starting to work on mine, and yeah, so I think it's going to turn out, it's going to look really cute on a loaded envelope, the donut unicorn. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them below. I always try to get back, if not immediately, within a couple of days. And thank you so much again for watching. Bye.